Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I am riding the Honda Grom. This is a first gen 2014 Honda Grom. I've been riding it a lot, and I've been having just a ton of fun on it. And the amount of fun I've been having on this bike has motivated me to make this video. It's given me a lot of things to think about, so I figured I should get all my thoughts out about this bike. This is not like a review or anything, but riding this bike has made me question a lot of the things that I thought about motorcycles, which is different. You know, it's been a long time since I've ridden a bike like that. And I've ridden quite a few different bikes. I've had a couple SV650s, I've had a DRZ 400, a DR650, FC1, a Honda CB550. So I mean, and right now I have a Kawasaki Versys 650. So I've had a fair number of bikes. But this Honda Grom is the first one that's made me kind of think differently about motorcycles. I always thought that anything less than a 650 was just going to be too small. You know, too small, too slow, not enough to have fun on. I kind of bought into the whole, you know, there's no replacement for displacement saying. So I started on a 650, and except for the DRZ 400, I think every other bike I've owned has been a 650 or greater. So the Honda Grom is really my first like little bike that I've ridden a fair amount on, and I gotta say, I mean, I think I'm having just as much, if not more fun on a little 125 than on any of the 650s or higher that I've owned, which I didn't expect. One thing to keep in mind is that I am coming at this from the perspective of someone who wants to spend a lot of time on dirt and off-road. So, you know, dirt bikes are light for a reason, and they're small for a reason. So that's something to keep in mind the whole time I'm talking about this. But I bought the Versys 650 to be an adventure bike, right? Parallel twin 650, great on the highway. You know, it was pretty cheap, good, you know, all around adventure bike. I definitely bought into all the current marketing around adventure bikes that says that, you know, you gotta have like a big, you know, 700cc-ish engine for it to be an adventure bike, like the Tenere 700, wildly popular adventure bike. But I think for most people who are not experienced off-roaders like myself, I think it's too big. I think that more and more people should ride small bikes, especially when they're learning. Do a little skid. Finally broke loose right at the end. Alright. I have owned the Versys 650 for about 10 months or so. And I have been riding it on a lot of dirt and gravel roads. And I've been trying to, you know, explore, do some suburban exploration on dirt and construction and, you know, various things like that. And there's been so many spots where I've just really struggled with it or had to turn around because it's just so heavy. The Versys, you know, it's not a strictly an adventure bike. You know, it was never really created to be that. but it's still, I think, representative of a lot of the current offerings in terms of adventure bikes. You know, twin cylinder, around 450 pounds, give or take, and very tall. So the Versys is just very top heavy and kind of difficult to handle on rough off-road, especially for someone who's new to riding off-road. And I've heard a lot of the same complaints about the Tenere 700, that it's very top heavy, and most people that are new to riding off-road have a hard time with it. And that's where this bike comes in. I've been riding this bike on dirt roads as much as I can, and I've been having a lot more fun with it. It's just the weight is so much lower, and it's just dramatically easier to ride off-road because of that. I mean, also the seat height is super low and the center of gravity is very low, which helps. But you only need 125 cc's for this kind of bike, and I really think that more people should ride small bikes. Honestly, they're just more fun most of the time, which I never really expected. Like, this would be just very rough and kind of nerve-wracking for me on the Versys. I'm sure better riders would not feel the same way. I'm sure a lot of other people could handle bigger bikes on something like this pretty easily. But I'm pretty new to this, so for me, the Grom has been very confidence-inspiring. And it's still on street tires. I don't even have knobbies on this thing. And it's already easier to ride off-road than the Versys. Ooh, it's a little soft. We just got a bunch of rain, so this stuff is all kind of muddy. Let's see what kind of tread or track I left behind. Yep, a little bit right over back there. Gotta be careful I don't get stuck in these wet construction zones. Yeah, like that. Momentum? Yeah. Alright. So, after riding this bike, I'm going to circle back to the title of this video. The Honda Grom has made me question everything about motorcycles. I finally, after weeks of researching and trying to make a decision, which as someone who has terrible analysis paralysis, that's very difficult for me. But I finally decided to sell the Versys. That was loose. Yeah, I decided to sell the Versys and get myself something lighter that I can learn how to off-road, and something that I can just gain some confidence on, and that can be a small adventure bike. And it looks like I have finally settled on a choice of the CRF 300L Rally. So as soon as the Versys sells, I'll probably be picking up one of those, and I plan to make a lot of videos on that bike. I hope that it ends up being a good platform to build. From all my research, it seems like it does. So I'm really looking forward to that. I hope it's everything that I think it will be. But that's only a 300. I mean, it's actually not even 300. It's 286 or something like that. But I've watched tons of videos about how it is on the highway, just to make sure, because I do actually ride a lot of highway for my commute. And it seems like it can handle it. It's just a question of how comfortable you'll be. But honestly, after riding this Grom at wide open throttle, like all the time, I think it's going to be great. It'll be basically just like a more dirt version of the Grom that's a full-size bike. So I'm really looking forward to that. But man, the Grom is fun. If you haven't ridden a Grom, you need to ride one. Just to say that you have. I think everyone should spend at least a little bit of time on a small bike like this. Well, I think I got my thoughts out. I guess moral of the story is small bikes can be just as fun, if not more fun, than bigger bikes. And I think don't believe the marketing all the time. Alright guys, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. That really helps out the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one.